Hello everyone, welcome back to the course Sustainability for Future Generation Concepts, Technologies and Global Practices. So in this module, we will discuss about the social sustainability, enhancing quality of life and organizational growth. So in this social sustainability, we have to learn about how we can make the socially equitable to the all the gender equality maybe, and we have to make the how organization growth should be there and quality of life will be enhanced by social sustainability. So sustainability not only in the various aspects of industries are all altogether and in the material processing, but also social sustainability will help us to get a proper, as I told, proper quality of life will be improved. How it was, as I told, these are three pillars: socio economic, and environmental. So then it is linked with the triple bottom line, that is people. So in this people, we'll discuss now. This session is completely focused on the social sustainability aspects. So myself, Dr. P. Swaminathan Ratnagiri, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, SR University, Warangal. So we'll go to the this module contents. So here see we have the first we will understand what is social sustainability and definition, what are the three pillars of sustainability aspects. Then we go for the key dimensions of the social sustainability aspects, where we'll discuss about the what is the dimensions which is involved in the social sustainability aspects. Then we'll go for the promoting the inclusion equal opportunities for both female and male gender equality. So that is the one of the best way we'll think about that. Then we'll go for the empowering communities and employees. Then we'll discuss about the health, safety, and well-being of one's people's well-being and health is also very important. Then we go for the strategical education, culture, and social cohesion between among the different group of peoples. Then organizational strategies, part one, which is strategies from one to four, will discuss about the how organizational strategies can implemented to the organizational growth. That is the how this organizational growth will be incorporated to the social sustainability, and what sort of strategies included in the part 1 and part 2, and what is the strategical outcomes and business case will be incorporated, how to make a social sustainable organizational growth, and what is the global perspective and relatedness SDGs will be incorporated, then impact metrics and key strategies will be discussed. Then we have the summary of the session. These are total overview of the social sustainability in enhancing of the quality life and organizational growth. Let's see one by one. So as I refer several times, when you talk about the sustainability, sustainability is not about only about the industrial revolution or SDG goal. You have to know about how social sustainability will be improved. So you see here, social sustainability refer to the maintaining of and improving the quality of life for future generation. That was I am talking about. Sustainability is not only come from the metal recreation or natural preparation or energy emissions, cut down CO2 emissions, but also how well-being the human being culture is into the growths will be into the indigenous knowledge system or traditional and heritage. All these things other we have to go further, and we have to make the equality among the group of communities. So we have this equality of the life and have the participation and inclusivity, that is the social sustainability aspect. So we have to understand it will be mainly focused on the people's well-being, how they are well equipped. Empowerment is increasing this culture in their group of community. Equity, inclusion, ensuring the proper that progress in the ethical inclusion, human-centered facilities. So these are the some of the focusing points where you have to discuss. Human empowerment may be there, and empowerment of any um, uh, societal problems, and we investigate social service strengths, what are the strengths are there, and resilience and culture we have to discuss. So you see here culture preservation is one of the important aspect in this figure. We clear what is cultural preservation. We know we have different culturals in India. So to preserve that one, we have to value for that culture and diversify that one and maintain the social identity. So that was one of the best way to preserve our cultural aspects, from the traditional knowledge or heritage knowledge. So indigenous knowledge is one of the best way part of preserving our cultural habitats. Then we have the inclusion and equalities among the group of communities. So we have to ensure that ensuring the equal opportunity or equal access to the all the group of communities or the members of the society. That when you maintain this one, definitely there will be a growth will be happen in socially, economically, as well as the environmental. So that is called inclusive and equality based. Then we have the community empowerment. As I said several, whenever community is very good and maintaining the good amount of schemes which will enhance the growth of the life of the individuals, it will be helps to the individuals as well as participate in the shaping the future generations people also. That was the community empowerment is very much important. So engaging the community in a proper way and better life will be enhanced and you will get socially connected will be happen. So then we have the health and well-being. So when you get to the community empowerment is good, then we have to focus about the health and well-being. So investing in the physical and mental health of the for a societal problem. So we have to understand the community engagement. Then you have to address the people who are issues facing with the health or the well-being. So you have to address them and you have to counsel them and you have to get the awareness them. So that will be come out of the scenario of that if the family is facing some issues financially or in a turbulence of anything else. We have to connect with them in a proper way. Then you discuss and we will get a proper connectivity with them. So then we have the education and learning process. So we have to promote the lifelong learning process. It's not about to complete this amount of education system. We have to stop. As we know that lifelong learning is one of the best path of we are getting the promoting the lifelong learning and knowledge sharing is one of the important aspect in social sustainability. So altogether, these 5 points are essential to get the social sustainability aspect. So why we are discussing about social sustainability? Because we have to build the inclusive health and empowered communities with the for betterment of the sustainable future. So that was the one of the best way how we can give to the future generation people instead of creating the wars among the peoples, quarrels between the peoples. It is better to compromise in a better way, like engaging the peoples in a better way, calmness, and you go for the meditations and yoga. So that will be decrease the hyperness in the childs. That will help us to solve so many of problems. That was the main understanding social sustainability, which will improve the life of the current and the future generations to inculcating so many of input points. So try to understand this and we can go further this. So then we have the three pillars as already I discussed how these three pillars are uh, connectivity to the social sustainability. As I earlier told, it's not about only about the environment, it's not about the only about economy, it's the social connectivity should be there. So the, in the three pillar, the third pillar is the social sustainability, that is the social economic booster. So when your well-being of the ensuring the people can be through in a safe, fair and cohesive environment, definitely they will focus on well-being and equity, inclusion and human environment will be more. So that will help us to the growth of the community in the national as well as in the global. These are three pillars, as I told, always the sustainability is always they will be a three pillar based. So you cannot avoid any one of the pillar. So that's why you have to focus on the social well-being also very important. So why I am discussing these three pillars continuously? Why? Because they are essential for the sustainability. When you focus on environment, is done with several aspects: renewable energy, fossil fuels, carbon emissions, impact, circular economy. When you boost up the economy in the proper way, definitely the well-being will become, job opportunity will be higher, and the education system will be improved because of the job opportunities, and the community will be engaged with the proper well-being, healthiness. All these things will help us to boost up the social economic activities. So that's why the three pillars are essential in the sustainability. So let's discuss about the various key dimensions of the social sustainability. So what are the key dimensions when you maintain the social sustainability? We have to access to the education, healthcare, and opportunity to all the people. Then only we can get the equivalent dimensions about the social sustainability. So this is one of the parameter we have to focus. So then we have to safe and fair work conditions to all the people in a proper way. Depends upon their knowledge system. So you have to adapt in a safe working conditions in the industries or any company or any college or anywhere. So we have to ensure that is a fair working condition should be adopted. Then we have the gender equality and diversity. So this very important point. Wherever is there nowadays, we have to maintain the gender equality in all the aspects. So then only we will be understanding and diversification will be done. A lot of if social well-being will be improved. That is called that will be maintained in each and every aspect. Then diversification will be done. So then we have the employee well-being and empowerment. As we know that every employee should be knows will be well-being because of the conditions, and they should be empowerment should be there for them. If they provided in the employer which are being provided by the industry, there should be we should have the well-being, and you should be low risk of the human nature, like problems and all these things will be discussed with the industry employer, so that will be employee will be well-being and you get a more amount of empowerment. So this will help us to engaging of the community in a proper way, and we will get the social innovation. So social innovation will come from whenever the community engagement is very good, they will be focusing about the problem which is shown by the community, then they will get the social innovation aspect, then we will treat that as a problem solving methodology, and they will adapt to that social innovation adoption. So these are the some of the key dimensions where we should understand that the five dimensional parameters should be adopted for the adopting of social sustainability. Why I'm focusing about these five dimensions? Because we should know one should not be say that I do not have the access for the education as well as the healthcare and opportunity which is coming from the globally or the nationally. So safe working conditions should be provided by the each and every industry people as well as the any organization. So gender equality should be there, so job opportunities should be equally distributed and should be diversified, and we have the employee well-being is one of the best path, and if you have to empower these five dimensions, community engagement is one of the best path. So these five dimensions will help us to get the social sustainability in a better form. So this is one of the five dimensional parameters. Panchamrit is like a Panchamrit, as we have to think about the Panchamrit in the social sustainability. Then we have the promoting inclusivity and equal opportunity. The first dimension is what? Inclusivity and equal opportunity among all the people. That is equality, collaboration, respect, and empowerment. So value diversity is what? So team diverse solve the problems more effectively and greater generate more creative solutions. That is one of the important aspects where we are thinking about the value diversification. We have to think about how effectively we can solve the problems. Then we can create a stronger communities which will helps to the inclusive of environmental foster trust, belonging, and as well as collective resilience problem solving. So we have the stronger communities which will engage, so that will improve the connectivity between the group of organizations or group of peoples. Then equal access to the resources. So what are the resources are there in the government, that will be assure that systematic barriers should be ensured, everyone should have the fair opportunities to grow among in their life. So that was the main important, we have to provide a equal access to the resources whatever the having in our organization or in a country. So you see this picture, when you have the inclusion and you have the equality and you have the collaboration with among the peoples, when you will get the respect as well as the final output is the empowerment of the any organization. So diverse minds stronger together. So better decision making can be arrived by promoting of equal opportunity. So because of diverse leadership bodies which produces more balanced and effective outcomes or will be engaged. So try to understand this how better decisions we can make it out, and better leadership bodies for more balanced and effective outcomes and can be come from these making of these equal opportunities as well as promoting of inclusivity. So this will be happens when you following more amount of ideology. So when you want to include of all the people in a one at one position, that will help us to gather all the people and improve the respect in the community as well as the empowerment will be happen. So this how we can engage with the different peoples and promoting of equality opportunities. Then we have the empowering communities and employees. So how we can empower the communities? So social sustainability environment. So in individual you take up a part shaping their features through community led initiatives. Why? Because community will help us to initiate our employee participation in organizational planning. So this socially sustainable environment will create the what are the opportunities in shaping the future generations people. So these community-led initiatives, which will help to the uh, grassroots programs, will residents co-designing the solutions to local challenges which are facing by the community for urban level to the public campaigning. So this will be called as community-led initiatives. This will help to the growth of more amount of grassroots, which will help us to residents to grow their co-design the solutions. Next is what about the leadership pipelines. So what is the leadership pipelines? So it will engage the mentoring of the group of peoples, understand the prospects of groups into leadership roles, and creates the equal pathways for the modern organizational thinking. So that how the taking the problems to the high rise level, leadership pipeline is the one of the best path we're taking to the solution to the pathways. So then we have the employee participation. So engaging the Staff in organizational planning is one of the important part. Employee is the one of the best path. You have the ideology should be implemented to growth of organization. So goal setting up and decision making builds the ownership, accountability and commitment. These are some of the important parts where we can think and get the more amount of employee participation will be done where for the organizational planning in a better way, and we have the proper goal setting and decision making to get the accountability and commitment among the employer participation in each and every step. Then was the voice and the feedback. One open channels for the employee input is very important. We have to take the survey of the employee and we have to take the town halls and get the idea boards, get the foster culture wherever one's voice is matters. So that should be taken as the feedback system and improve the empowering system in the community as well as the employee. This will help us to boost the economical growth in the socially sustainable environment. That's how these points will help us. So I think we should empower the communities and employ the all the aspects in a proper way. Employees' feedback is very important. So this was the how we can improve the social sustainability aspects. Now we will go for the health, safety, and well-being. So once you want to think about the physical well-being and health will both are different. So there should be a thing more amount of organizations should be think about investments in well-being and safety to the healthier society and more productive organizations. So once you think about the healthy safety and well-being, so physical well-being is what, whenever your physical strength is good your mental strength will be work. For example, you have the safe and ergonomic workplaces. That means without any hazardous safety we have provided fire safeties or anything else in your organization, the employee will get the boost up of in a mental well-being. Otherwise, you in a dilemma stating that some action will be happen somewhere. So I have to take care about that. So access to the healthcare and insurance policy should be implemented each and every organization depends upon the cadre. So based on that, the possibilities wherever the possibilities, try to incorporate this healthcare as well as the insurance policies in the organization. That will help to the in build up the social sustainability. Then we have the preventive care programs also will be there. We have to not think about the only cure. We have to preventive care programs also should be understand how to prevent the health hazards. So that was the main important you have to understand, and you have to maintain the care program should be adapted. So then we have the regular health thing is also important. Why? Because nowadays lot of disease are coming from different aspects. So one person should be maybe prone don't know because of bp levels or sugar levels or thyroid, so or he have some other diseases will be, it will be periodically. If you do that one, then only he will be knowing and he will take care about that. It should not be go further. Maybe the health care due to the heart attacks are occurring in the different parts. Then recreation and physical activity support is also very important. We have to recreate them and that mind should be peaceful, and we have to physical activity support should be there because of healthiness. So these all things will be help us for the physical well-being. So what about the mental well-being? When your physical is very good, then you have to go for the open communication culture is very important instead of communicating to one person. And we have to maintain that whatever the organization we are there, the communication should be equally distributed to all the people so that the open communication culture will help us to the mental well-being. Then you have the counseling and mental health support is there. Always we have to support the employer's safety in terms of mentally how well-being he was. We have to periodically we have to give the counseling and mental health support should be given, and stress management training should be given, how to manage the stress levels and how to engage the peoples in a proper way. Then supportive and empathetic leadership will help us to be in a well-being. So a leadership quality should be think about the employer's benefit and how to the mentally well-being. When he is physically well-being, if he is not good in mental, then obviously you are not going to get the more amount of outcome from him. So supportive and empathetic leadership is essential for this mental well-being. And flexible working arrangements also should be adopted wherever the possible does. Flexible is like whenever he wants to work from home condition, he can be adapted, or else the timing should be shifted as per his as per his wishness, depends upon the organizational benefits as well as the employees benefit. So this by doing all these things we are getting a well-being safety led to the healthier society, and more productive organizations will be improved. That's how the social sustainability will be incorporated in this aspect of health, safety and well-being. So when you are good in all this aspect, definitely the well-being of the humans will be get into the upper level. So this was the main important point. You should be knowing about the one person's physical well-being as well as the mentally we have to be very good trained, because of there is a lot of stress in the production in the organization. So the one employer should be think about how he effectively can manage the work conditions, that how he can decrease the his mental well-being. So that's how the to improve the safety, health, as well as the well-being. So coming to the education, culture, and social cohesion. So knowledge sharing is one pathway where you can think about the how effectively we can train the people, how we can train the people to in a better way to enhance the high empowerment individuals capable of driving meaningful change. What is this meaning? So you have to adopt the knowledge sharing programs and peer learning creative empowered by individuals which will capable of driving meaningful change in the organization. That is one of the best way of sharing the knowledge in a better way. So then if we have the lifelong learning process, as earlier I told, we have to go the lifelong learning process to success of the student. So when you have to go for the this education and culture social cohesion help us a lifelong learning process should be adopted. So continuous education for adaptability, innovation, future readiness, and as well as rapidly evolving the world in a betterment. So next is of the cultural preservation. What is this cultural preservation? Valuing the cultural identities, strengths, social harmony, and sense of belonging communities. So these are some of the cultural preservations will be adopted. Then we have student success is adopted because of this equality, quality education should be provided, and holistic wellness of the student and socially just communities should be engaged, and environment should be created equally to the all the student, and inclusive of excellence will be there for one student success in the education system. So you should, these are the five parameters we have to discuss. The Panchamrit, quality education should be given for him, as well as the holistic wellness should be given, and socially just communicates with them, and we have the environment should be created in a better way, and inclusive of excellence in this what are the facilities you have to given. So definitely the future of the global prospects as well as the culture among the student will be improved, and the social cohesion will be reduced. This is how we can make the education culture and social cohesion. Next, strategies for organizational improvement. So when we talk about the quality of life in these three parameters, now how the organizational improvements can be done. So once we want to think about a strategy should be implemented, this is very important slide. Why? Because organizational improvement is very important to enhance your life quality. Why? Because employing well-being programs is essential to be conducted and focus on their mental and well-being. Next was the DI policies. That is what promoting equality and representing across the different levels is very important. Like giving the promotion in all the aspects and encouraging the community engagement in a better knowledge peoples, and skill development programs should be adopted, encourage the continuous learning and growth opportunities of the institute, and ethical leadership is also one of the important criteria. One leader should be having ethical integrity as well as the transparency in the organization. If you don't have that ethical leadership, there will be problem in the organization. Definitely there will be skilled people maybe drop out from that organization. Try to understand is the very important aspect in your organizational improvement. So then we have the community engagement is one of the best path. So where you think about the involving of local communities in social impact projects. So that is the best way to growth your organization. Next about the sustainable chain management is one of the important part. Why? Because when you go for the ensure ethical practices throughout the value of the chain, definitely there will be supply chain will be created. You have to be ethical and you have to be integrity should be followed with the supply chain management. Then you have the safe work environment should be provided to all the people. So when you have the guarantees zero tolerance for discrimination and accountability, you have there the safe working nature environment, definitely your organization will be higher empowerment. Then human centered innovations will be there. We have to design the solutions which are the problems created by the organization and serves that improve the social welfareness. So these are the points which makes a strategical organizational improvement, which will create the building a strong foundations and creating a lasting impact in future generation people, which will have the better people and better future. So these are the strategical should be implemented in every organization to implement their empowerment. Not only empowerment, they will be well-being of the employee. So these are the some of the important points should be considered for the organizational improvement. So one point by one point we will discuss that a employee well-being program should be conducted. So wherever the possible, there's a flexible work schedule should be given, and remote options should be adapted if you're the work from home, and health insurance and counseling services, mental illness, stress management, and recreation phases for the work balance. All these are important for the employee well-being, and diversity, equality, inclusion, that is DEI. That was I am discussing diversity, equity, and inclusion. So gender equality and fair pay policy is very important, and inclusive of hiring and representation. Leadership diversities and initiatives very important. Cultural awareness training programs is very important to understand how culturally awareness training is adopted. Then skill development and continuous learning is also very important. How effectively we can internally train the mentorship programs we can adapt it for the development of skills of the employee. Then partnership with the educational institutes to go up the research institutes, digital literacy as well as the reskilling programs. Leadership development pipelines is also very important. You cannot depend upon the single leadership skills. Maybe this, so leadership development is also very important from one step to the other step. Then ethical leadership and governance is also very important in our strategical organization. So how we can make the transparency and fair business models can be adopted. So then we have the accountability and ethical framework should be given properly to all the employees. Accountability should be there and ethical framework should be adopted, and employee input should be needed whenever you want to change hours is there. So you have to consider the employee needs in a proper way. Then you have to make the decision making based on the employee inputs, and open feedback and reporting system should be adopted. So this all things will be help us to improve the empowerment of the organization strategies. So open feedback is always needed. So it will be reporting system should be adapted and changes should be done based on the feedback received from the employee. These are the four things we can adapt to the stage one of the organizational strategies. And we go for the stage two, community engagement and CSR, very important. Why? Because so collaborate on local education projects. It is very important engaging the people in a proper way. So then you have the clean water and sanitation, skilling of building programs should be done accordingly, and voluntarily social impact programs we have to adapt. We have to conduct frequently, and aligning the CSR with company mission and values. That is the one of the community engagement. Then you have the sustainable supply chain management. You have to partner with ethical and responsible suppliers is needed for your industry. So uphold fair labor and human rights standards. Wherever the possibility is there, you have to maintain the fair labor charges as well as human rights standards should be adopted. Monitor social performance metrics always, and transparent value chain reporting should be done for every frequent of whenever you want to change the transparent should be there in the value chain or reporting. So then you have the safe inclusive work environment should be adopted. So wherever the possibilities, the zero tolerance should be assured by the discrimination and harassment should be. So you have to make zero harassment as well as discrimination among the peoples. So that should be maintained in a proper manner. Anti-harassment policy should be implemented and training program should be adopted for this. Accessible for a design for different differentiable people should be given for the priority. How they engage with the group of people, and psychological safety work framework should be adopted for the well-being of these workers in our employees in a safe work inclusive environment. And human-centered innovation should be adopted in your organization when promotes to improve the social welfare. Affordable housing and clean energy solutions should be adopted in our organization. Ethical AI and green technology adoption is very important, and social responsible for the research and development. These are some of the important strategical things should be adopted by the organizations to improve their all growth economy as well as the social sustainability. So then we have the strategical collective, which will improve the employee satisfaction, brand reputation, stakeholder trust, as well as the long-term productivity. So when you think about the employee satisfaction, we have to better opportunities, growth, and support lead to happier, more engaged employees. So the organization's reputation is very important. No social responsibility, attract the better talent, customers, and investors. Stakeholder trust is very important. It should be ethical, transparent, and build lasting confidence among the investors, partners, and communities. So, a supported, empowered workforce constantly delivers high output, innovation, and quality engagement is very important. Though these strategies create a self-reinforcing cycle for the better future of the next generation. So, it will attract the talent, engage the people, employees, innovative, innovation driven growth, and growth funds for the social investment. So then we have the social SDG goals really linking about the global prospects and United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. SDG number 3 is always to think about the good health and well-being. SDG 4 about the quality education, and we have SDG number 8 is about the decent work should be provided in economic growth. SDG 10 is about the reduce the inequalities. SDG 11 is sustainable cities and communities. So all together we can improve the social sustainability in a core practice. Equality and resilient world will be ultimate goal is the social sustainability. That was the how we can SDG goals are interlinked to our SDG goals. 3, 4, 5, 8 and 10, 11 is very important, where we can adopt how effectively we can engage this development of the social sustainability in interlinking with the global prospect as well as the United Nations social development goals. So then we have the LCA for global sustainability. How LCA will be help us to that measure the impacts, mitigate the drivers, and inform the policy making. How this implement of life cycle assessment in social sustainability. So unacceptable, unsustainable practices should be avoided, and sustainability development will be given. You see here SDG number 3, health. So employment, wellness, and community health initiatives directly advance their goals. So education, training, the mentorship program, build education workforces. Can you do the LCA? And the DA is one of the diversification, equality, and inclusion policies can be obtained from the LC for doing analysis in a proper way. Decent work, fair wages, and ethical supply chain should be provided, and inclusive of hiring the equality access and by of implementing of life cycle assessment. CSR projects contribute to safer and cohesive communities. This will help us to growth of how socially aligns with the SDG goals through LCA. So impact metrics and key strategies you see here. So higher education system up to 20 to 25% higher employee engagement can be adopted, and 15 to 20% was improvement in the innovation outcomes, up to 30% in the higher retention and organizational trust factors. So year by year performance improvement inclusive trends we see here, year 1, year 2 and year 3, employee engagement and innovative rate as well as the retention rate. Your always retention rate should be higher, employee engagement also should be moderate, as well as your innovation rate should be more. So these are the measurement challenges will be encountered in your social sustainability. So one is the measurement difficulty, because we cannot quantify the social outcomes in a better way of well-being, equality, and as the complex access universal metrics. And cultural resistance is also one of important aspect. So changing of deep root organizational cultures requires sustained leadership commitment. Resource constraints, smaller organizations may lack the resources need to be implement comprehensive programs. And when you have the social short-term goal and long-term thinking, so leadership often prioritize the immediate financial returns over a long-term social investment. Supply chain complexity and monitoring of the social standards and regulatory gaps is also very important. So altogether, these are some of the challenges to implementing of social sustainability. Then what about the future sustainability and emerging trends? So AI and ethical technology is one of the best integration path, where our nation must ensure the ethical AI deployment, fair algorithm for outcomes, and reskilling of displaced workers. ESG reporting is very important. So whenever the ESG frameworks are becoming mandatory, pushing the companies to demonstrate measurable social impact, and remote the and hybrid work system should be can be adopted, because of network models demand fresh and approaches to inclusive. Mental health will be good, and community building the globally, and youth and intergenerational equality is very important. So future focus organization will invest on youth programs, skills, and intergenerational knowledge transfer is very important. So to adopt the more amount of social sustainability. So business and ethical case for social sustainability. So for communities, like when you engage with the ensure the proper justice to the well-being and reduce the social inequality, build cohesion of the cultural identity, and we have the empower of individual to shape their future. For the communities is the responsible things, and for organizations to improve the employee retention is very important. Satisfaction enhance the brand reputation, public trust is very good, very needed, much needed. Diverse innovation through diverse perspectives reduce the risk for unethical practices. This how the business model or ethical practices can improve the social sustainability among the communities as well as the organization. So this how the social sustainability can engage people at the heart of progress. So try to engage of all these possibilities. Social sustainability is very important aspect in the sustainability aspects. So ethically we have to go, and human capital, a true measure of progress lies in how societies and organizations uplift the people, improve in the triple bottom line, improve the quality of the life. So this about the session. So ensure the proper communities should be engaged, justice, well-being, and belong to the people. Organizations should build strong cultures inspires the innovation and creates long-term value for the world, creates equitability, resilience, and human-centered programs for all the aspects. So these about the social sustainability aspects in my course. So all of you please engage with this social sustainability. Try to incorporate this social sustainability activities in organization or any industry or any company. So then we have in the community also you should engage these innovative practices. So thank you for viewers and subscribers to listening my video session module number 5 social sustainability for uplifting the quality of life and organizational growth. Thank you. If you want to discuss about this session, you can go with my email ID as well as LinkedIn profile PSN P Swami NR Giri. So thank you for this one. Jai Hind.